I have a very short presentation, and it's a pictorial presentation of what we have built so far and what our plans are for construction to complete this facility. As you know, that aircrafts need fuel to get from one location to the other, and we are governed here in the Caribbean by the Eastern Caribbean Civil Aviation Authority. But Rubis have aviation facilities in the Eastern Caribbean. We are aware that airlines normally comes and audit the facility for the purpose to ensure that we have a safe, quality installation. So, and these auditors come as far as, you would say, from Europe, United States, and they will not allow any of their aircrafts to land in this facility if the fueling is not of quality and meet all of their requirements. I want to stress this point to let you know that the fueling facility at Argyle is not what someone just conjure up as what we want to do. It has to meet, and it will meet, all of the international standards. It was built to the international standards. So you have a facility that meets international standards and will be ready to operate when the airport goes into operation. So when I was preparing this presentation, I thought that I will focus on three things: the fuel terminal, the mooring facility. This is the berth at Studs Bay, off Studs Bay, and also our pipeline system that transport the fuel from our ships to the fueling facility. And these are the three main components of this installation. As you can see, that's the site plan for the facility. Basically consists of 2 tanks, storage tanks for storing jet A1 fuel, which is typically the fuel for aircrafts. We're also going to have storage for aviation gas, which is another fuel, and this is normally for smaller aircrafts. So at Argyle, we'll be able to accommodate all of the aircrafts that will land at the facility. As you drive to and from Georgetown, you will have noticed that we have completed the 2 tanks, as you see, erected there. One is a 10,000 barrel tank. The other one is a 3,000 barrel tank. That capacity was envisaged to allow total of 550,000 gallons of jet fuel. This, thank you very much. This, we have calculated that this would give at least at the start about 30 days supply, 30 plus days supply of fuel at the airport. This is at what we would say year 1. As you will know, that Argyle is a baby, has been born, and as they get mature, the volumes will increase, but we have taken into consideration that the growth of the airport. So once the airport grows and more fuel is required, then the ships has a shorter rotation. But we anticipate that the shortest rotation would be at least 2 weeks. So you expect a tanker to be, when the airport is let's say year 5 or year 6, to have a rotation about 2 weeks. But now we anticipate that it will be 30 days plus rotation. This is the tank for the aviation gas. It's a smaller tank, about 10,000 gallons of aviation gas. Aviation gas is not many engines are designed to operate on aviation gas, but we thought that with the operation between the mainland and the Grenadines, that you may still have some aircraft that are operating with the aviation gas, that we need to supply this option to the international airport. With this gas, this product will be imported in ISO containers into St. Vincent and offloaded into this tank. This is not peculiar to St. Vincent. This is a typical operation for Rubis with aviation gas because it's of smaller quantities. So we don't transport it via our tankers. I spoke about quality of the product. I have shown a picture which is the internal pipeline of the fuel farm. And I want to draw to your attention to these two look like smaller tanks. These are what we describe in the industry as filter separators that separates water, also other contaminants that may be found in the fuel. As I mentioned, that these are the part of the auditing requirements from the aircraft owners, that we have to have a facility to filter the fuel before it goes into our truck. So that is our filtration system to ensure quality. Rubis safety is #1 priority at Rubis. And again, as I said, that we need to meet international requirements. Therefore, we have installed a fire system, which inclusive of a water tank and a pump, which would allow Rubis to control or extinguish any fire within our facility, and at least give the local fire attendant 30 minutes at least to get to our sites. Is at least. So I believe that I can't remember the calculation of how much gallons of water that's being stored in the tank at this point in time, but I know the international standard requires that you have at least 30 minutes of water supply, and we have that at the airport. So this is your hydro survey of your beloved Studs Bay. The reason why Rubis carried out this survey was to determine the depth of waters in Studs Bay, to determine that if our ships were able to come into Studs Bay to offload. You are not able to see the various depths. The writings are pretty small, but it spans from, well, the shoreline up to over 12 meters of water. Encompass this entire area right here. If the lines that are in green, you have, this is what the 8-meter line, and this is the 9-meter line right here, which is about 30 feet of water. Our tankers will be moored in that area, so a 30-meter depth. So we have adequate water depth at Studs Bay to allow our tankers to come in. Just to let you know that it's not any different tanker that you would have seen at Great Bay, right? That's Great Head Bay. Yes. It's the same tanker that you would see at Great Head Bay. It will be the same tanker that will be coming up to Studs Bay. And let me assure you that we met with the Maritime Department here, also the Harbor Master, and there's a particular procedure that we ought to follow because Studs Bay waters can get pretty choppy. We are only going to offload product during daylight hours. That is an agreement that we have with the Maritime. It is an agreement that we will stick to only during daylight hours. The reason for that, we need to see if there's any problems. We will be able to see it quickly and able to rectify it. In addition, we are going to install a anemometer, yes, which measure wind speeds, and we will only berth at Studs Bay when the wind conditions are within the agreed setting, which I can't remember right now. And we will be not diverting from that because it would be an unsafe berth and an unsafe discharge, and Rubis' responsibility is to the communities that we work in, and we will not operate an unsafe operation.